She advised me not to set my expectations too high in that department. She told me that, in her experience, the masculine mind lacked the propensity for imagination. And bearing in mind she'd had 5 brothers, 3 sons and 2 husbands, I reckoned she probably knew more than most when it came to understanding the masculine mind. In truth, I had a whole 2 hours before my train to Bournemouth, but I didn't want Stanley getting any ideas about going to the pictures. We'd done that the last time I'd come up to meet him, and it had been an ordeal, trying to concentrate on Mary Pickford's heartbreak with Stanley Morton's hands where they shouldn't have been, and his tongue in my ear. He'd told me that it was only what any normal fellow expects, and that there were plenty of girls who liked it. Fine, I said, go with one of them. I'd known plenty of them, too. Girls who'd go with men for the price of a cheap dress, then 10 months later give away a baby. Poor fallen creatures, like my mother. As we walked along Shaftesbury Avenue, as I linked my arm through Stanley's, he said, "So, how'd it go with Lady Otterby?" "Ottoline. Her name is Ottoline, and she's a lot younger than Mrs. B." "How old?" "Not sure. Late 30s, maybe 40.
"Nice."
I nodded.
"And you want it?"
"I wouldn't have come all the way up here if I didn't want it."
"Ha! And there's me thinking it was just an excuse to come and see me."
My little white lie about another interview had at first thrown Lady Ottoline, but it had also offered me an opportunity to pass a test, her test, on discretion. She didn't normally offer jobs on the spot, she said. She liked to cogitate. I didn't say anything. Her cogitation sounded like a private matter to me. But my silence paid off, and after some shuffling and rustling, a glance about the room, and then back at me, a queer little laugh, and then a sigh, she said, "When would you be able to start?" And so that was that. Seeing me to the lobby, Lady Ottoline shook my hand and told me she'd put everything in writing and send it out to me in that evening's post. "I got it," I said to Stanley. "I got the job." He stopped dead in his tracks.
"She offered it to you there and then?"
I smiled. "She said she had no reason to look any further. I was perfect for the position." The ABC was packed, and we were lucky to get a table. We had lamb chops, mashed potatoes, cabbage and peas, and bread and butter, and tea, of course. I didn't have a pudding, but Stanley had the apple pie and custard. It has to be said, the ABC did a decent high tea, and it suited Stanley's pocket. Working as a doorman at the Café Royal didn't pay a great deal. He'd been there for more than 2 years, standing about, watching people come and go. When he'd first started, he'd had ideas about moving up, becoming a concierge, even going into management. But now that didn't seem likely. Recently, he'd talked about looking for office work, a clerical position of some sort. But as far as I knew, he hadn't done anything about it.
"I'll have to hand it to you, Pearl,"
said Stanley, licking custard off the back of his spoon.
"You're a one. I mean, coming up here and snapping up a position, just like that."
He shook his head.
"I bet there's hundreds of girls out there who've never been offered a job there and then from the likes of Otterby."
"Ottoline, Stanley. Her name is—"
"You're a bloody liar, Walter Giddins!"
A woman at an adjacent table slammed down her cup and rose to her feet. She stood perfectly still for a moment as Walter Giddings continued to blow smoke rings up at the ceiling. Then she marched off across the packed room and toward the door.